Okay, I just hit the record button, and I'm not really. Oh, yeah, I did have an idea. The other day I had. Well, why does it matter when I had the idea? Everybody's like, oh, the other day I was thinking of this. And why does it matter that it was the other day that you were thinking of this? Why can't you just say, oh, hey, I had an idea? And then you go on about it. I had an idea about a video game, and I'm not 100% sure. In fact, I'm not even 10% sure about the patent laws and how it goes when somebody writes a script or comes up with an idea and then somebody else goes forward with it. I am fine with somebody stealing this idea from me. Check this out, all right? Imagine a world way in the future, and I'm not talking about Star Trek future. I'm talking about future, like 1,000, 2,000 years into the future, where technology is well beyond anything we can imagine now. And in the galaxy somewhere, in our galaxy, maybe even near Earth, but who knows, exists a gigantic tourist destination. Some kind of tourist destination that various beings from throughout the galaxy would visit. And in this gigantic tourist destination, it could be a planet-sized space station, or just a huge place that's just an enormous collection of just paradise from around the galaxy. Things that people would want to do, services that they could take on, uh, even like a galactic mall where you can go and buy crap. Like the iPod, but like some version from some other planet. Some really cool, awesome piece of technology that you can go and buy, and just a vacation spot. But since it's so deep into the future that it's not really a big deal for somebody from Earth to go to visit this place. Okay, now at this place exists a zoo. Okay, a gigantic zoo that is populated by creatures from all around the galaxy. Everything from a microbe to a brontosaurus, if there is such a thing still alive. Now, the game that I mentioned about 2 minutes ago, the video game idea that I had would be that your character, and you could have a choice of characters. You could even design your own, of course, where you work for the zoo in this tourist destination spot, and your job is to, maybe you're a bounty hunter or actually an employee who works for the zoo, but you have to go all across the galaxy and bring these creatures to the zoo, and in reward for bringing them to the zoo, you're rewarded with money to buy more gear, more weapons and tools that you can use to capture bigger and more complicated creatures. And the creatures wouldn't necessarily have to be bigger and scarier every time. They would just have to be more and more difficult to capture every time. And of course, the challenge of the game would be to actually capture the creature unharmed rather than kill it. Now, I don't know of any game where there is such a concept. Really, you have a boss and you have to fight it and kill it. But what about this? What about, okay, imagine if you were tasked with, like, just you, right? Your job, I'll give you $1 million right now. You go trap a jackrabbit. How hard would that be? I mean, it would be pretty hard, right? I don't know how to go capture a jackrabbit. Now, what if your job was to capture creatures like this, but you see, a jackrabbit would be really exotic if you weren't from Earth, right? You wouldn't know what the hell that was. It'd be pretty cool. Look how fast it goes, right? Look at the two rabbits when they get together. They have sex like every 15 seconds. That's amazing. And it only lasts 10 seconds. 2/3 of their life, they're fucking. Little things like this are amazing if you've never seen a rabbit before, right? So imagine being somebody who's going to visit an intergalactic zoo where there's creatures from all around the galaxy, not just panda bears and boa constrictors and crazy things that we have on Earth. But wow, I mean, just imagine if there were animals and creatures that people could capture from other planets, and even not even other planets, other forms of life that exist in other regions of space, maybe even planets that aren't anything like Earth. Maybe they have artificial environments in this zoo that can sustain the life that they had. Like, say if there was life on Mars, right? And if you were to bring it back here and exhibit it, obviously you couldn't just put it in a cage. You'd have to create an artificial environment, probably with artificial gravity, for it to even survive. So you know what I mean? This is the idea that I had. I had the idea that you're this bounty hunter and you go on missions that get progressively more difficult, and as a reward, you get more either money or tools that you can use on your own to go and capture these creatures. Now, you can go after whatever creatures you want, but you need the tools necessary to capture them. They can be weapons for defense. Of course, certain animals may attack you, Maybe certain others run away and you can't catch them because you're too slow. So you need a vehicle to chase after, or super boots like Sonic the Hedgehog can get. You just all these different things that you may need to capture these various things. Something can be fast, something can be huge. Like say, what if you had to capture, an elephant? I mean, maybe an elephant that was lazy, like a slothful elephant, but 10 times the size, right? A big ass lazy animal. I mean, it wouldn't be terribly dangerous, but it would be extremely hard to get it, right? Like you need a flatbed, and you need some way to get it up on there and then haul it to your ship, and plus you'd need an assload of food on the ship or some kind of cryostasis machine. I don't know, but you would need more and more complicated stuff to get the more and more complicated creatures, and that's the game. And the game could get more and more expansions like various other games. Hey, yeah, I bought this game, but in 6 months they're coming out with the expansion. I mean, that could be more and more planets that you can go and visit, and more weapons and creatures that you can capture. And the size of the space station could be, as big as you want it. I mean, obviously it doesn't really exist, so CG animators can design whatever they want. And I think that they would have a blast with this one. They could really use any amount of creativity they have and go crazy. There would be no limits to this. We're talking about the whole galaxy, and I mean, obviously you could step out of the galaxy, but I think the galaxy is big enough for now. But what do you think of this idea? I think it's badass. I was pretty excited about it because it was really a legitimately, honestly original idea. If anybody else has thought of this, I thought of it on my own. I didn't steal your idea. But if anybody else hasn't, if nobody else has thought of this idea, I'm okay with you stealing this idea and presenting it to a video game company or even a movie production studio. But now forget the movie production studio. I'm not down with that. They'll fuck it up. There haven't been any good movies made lately, especially science fiction. So yeah, video game company should make this, and they would absolutely do a better job. I mean, who could argue that? Right now, seriously, video games that are coming out are way better than movies are. There was a change in the zeitgeist, as the expression goes, back probably within the last 8 to 10 years, where video games started coming out and they were a hell of a lot better than movies. When was the last time a really, really, really good, excellent movie came out that wasn't all dialogue and character? It's something that had, well, I don't want to use Independence Day, even though a movie kicked ass. I mean, when was the last time a really big, epic sci-fi movie came out? I mean, it's been a long time. And I mean, obviously, the first 3 Star Wars movies, episode 1, 2, and 3, the ones that recently came out, they were large, epic sci-fi movies, but they sucked ass. So, I mean, come on. I'm not even going to use those as a comparison. But this idea, dude, I was pretty stoked when I came up with this idea. And, I could probably continue to talk, but you know what? I'll stop right now.